Hey boys and girls, welcome back to the Tesla Takeover. This place is loaded with great stuff. And one of the things that we've been looking at is PJ from ModVans, and he's going to give us a little tour of what I think is kind of like a special kind of van. This is really kind of cool. PJ, why don't you give us a tour?
Yeah, so we're an RV manufacturer. We buy cargo vans and we convert them into motorhomes. We build 3 different models, and I'm going to show you our biggest and kind of most expensive model, but we build 3 models on the low, medium, and high roof Ford Transit. So that's what we do right now. We do have a long-term vision and plan. We kind of got to start like Tesla did, converting Lotuses. We're converting Fords, but we have a plan to build a totally electric version of this when the chassis really become available. We're not building on the 100-mile range Ford Transit. Just doesn't make sense for our market yet. So going back, this is actually our flagship. This is our MH1X, and the X, we can start here, stands for our high technology series. We actually have the biggest battery available in any RV that we know of right now. It's built as a 1-inch layer of the floor, so it takes almost no space inside the vehicle.
1 inch, so is this a 2170s?
What do you mean?
Little round batteries?
So no, it's not. It's actually flat, 1-inch thick lithium iron phosphate cells. They're built into 1-inch thick aluminum cases. Yeah, so we actually make the modules in-house because I couldn't talk any manufacturer into making what I wanted. So we kind of hemmed and hawed about it. At the end, we decided to make our own battery modules. So we make bus bars out of aluminum. We cut them, laser cut them, and bend them and fold them, and then they all get bolted onto the cells. There's 120 cells under the floor. And then it's all integrated in with our modular seating system.
So how many kilowatt hours does that give?
26 kilowatt hours.
26.
Yeah. So, compared to an EV, it's small, but in terms of camper vans, it's over twice as big as anything else in the market.
So does this also have an engine then? Are you using ICE engine in here?
So yeah, these are all gas platforms. Ford does make an electric Transit, but we're not building on it right now because there's just no consumer interest in a 100-mile range electric
and
vehicle.
that's what I was going to get at. The battery pack would be really small, but if you have, this is almost turned into a hybrid. Because you've got a nice vehicle that will basically charge your batteries and get you where you need to go. So best of both worlds.
This is our compromise for right now. You know? And one of the things we're doing is
I don't think it's a compromise. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, we have a plan to get to the fully electric one, but this is how we're learning and finding out what the market wants. And it turns out there's tremendous demand for this type of vehicle.
Cool. So, well, let's have a look inside here.
Yeah, we'll hop inside. Come on in. Yeah. So maybe we could start at the back here. Start at the back.
Okay, so I'm gonna sit back here while actually.
So this is the culmination of us using the vans. We're one of the differences between us and a lot of other RV and manufacturers is that we're avid users of our vehicles. So I drive this vehicle almost every day. I take it off-road most weekends, and I actually take this one. And then we go to shows, and often we stay in the vans at the shows. So one of the things that is definitely a checklist feature for this market is the bed size. So this is a true queen size bed, and we had to bump out the side of the vehicle to do that. And then we mounted OEM giant windows on this bump out. So, and it also gave us a super deep kitchen. So these are just some kind of like features that we were able to accomplish. Underneath this bed, it's actually got a giant garage. And that comes from our experience of, the whole point of an adventure van is to go on adventures. And a lot of adventures require toys, whether they're your bikes or your climbing gear. So you need as big of a garage as you can possibly have. We also have giant water capacity. So this has 51 gallons of water, which is about twice as big as what you're going to see in most vehicles. And that's because water often is your limiting factor if you're going off on an adventure. So the more kind of water we can give you, the longer you can go off grid and stay there. And then, there's just a lot of things that we learned either through our own use or talking to customers. These sinks, they're beautiful and they're nice and deep. And that's because, to have a deep sink means it's not splashing on your bed, just as an example of little details that you get into. This is what we call our pop-up semi-dry bath. This is what we discovered is there's half of the people in the world want a bathroom that doesn't have shower curtains because they have what I call shower curtain phobia. They don't want the shower curtain to touch them. And the other half of people are like, oh, a bathroom is way too much space in a small van. And so this thing actually comes down when you're not using it. And so it's occupying quite a bit less space. The van feels way more open when it's down. And then when it's up, it's a bathroom that you can go in. And then we'll open it so you can do it yourself. But the toilet actually slides in and out. So it slides out so you don't have to take a shower with your toilet. And then when you need the toilet, you slide it back in. And then we do get get questions, you know, what if there's an emergency? The answer is that these actuators are strong enough you can take this van off-road and have the bathroom stay up. So that's not a problem.
So just out of curiosity, can you drop it so we can see how this actually works here?
Yep. Go through that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm putting the toilet away because the toilet is out for demos. And then it actually has a sensor that would prevent me from lowering the toilet when...
lowering the canopy when the toilet's in the room.
And then there's different ways to do it. You have the app overhead, but this is our in-house app-controlled system. So we'll just... Oh, there it goes. And while it's going down, you know, one of the things we worked really hard on is reducing weight, which is actually unusual in the RV industry. Usually they just make you get dualies to handle the weight. Yeah. And what that does is that pushes back onto the consumer the expense of the extra brakes, the extra tires, all carrying all that weight around. And so...
Well, not only that, it drops your fuel economy.
Yeah, and like so as an example, all this cabinetry you see here is actually made with a pretty innovative technique. We buy pre-laminated balsa plywood, and then we cut it as a single sheet on the CNC and then fold it around the skeleton. The skeleton's actually made of the cutouts, so it's very material efficient and it's super lightweight. These cabinets, you know, some like the one he's sitting on probably only weighs like 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is you talked about that bed, but then up here you've got this canopy. Maybe you can have a look at this.
So this comes from another, you know, kind of consumer data point. Most households in the U.S., over half, have 3 or more people in them, and so we, from the very beginning, have concentrated on vans that have the ability to have more than just 2 people. So traditionally in the RV industry kind of thought, oh, vans are so small, it's only made sense for 2 people. But if you go to Europe, you'll see that this is actually the most popular form factor, and vehicles built for 4 people are actually, that's the meat of the market there. Yeah. And so we wanted to take all those lessons from Europe and bring them back here. And one of the biggest flatteries I get is when people in Germany, which is like land of camper vans, they say, oh man, I want a ModVans, when can I get one in Germany? And, you know, I mean, we can't bring them to Germany yet, but it is very flattering to you know, kind of get that feedback that we have so many innovative, cool things that people haven't seen.
Well, one of the things you haven't mentioned yet is the soft side
so we'll talk about this. This is, you're going to see this. This is just such a no-brainer. You're going to see this going throughout the RV industry. So we have always done soft-sided. We tried, you know, hard-sided is the opposite term, but really like laminated cabinetry like you're seeing here, building this overhead storage. And we want this, you know, one of the biggest things you'll see, if you get on any of the Facebook groups, you'll see, I woke up in the middle of the night and I hit my head here and I got, you know, and I did it 3 times and now I'd never do it again. But what if we could build a solution that you could bump your head and it wouldn't, you know, put a bruise on you? Also, these are lighter weight. They have all these cool little gear loops. And then you actually have more room for your stuff because that cabinetry, if you start measuring like how much space the mechanism takes and all that, you know, it actually takes a lot of space. So you have more room for your space. It just doesn't have the traditional look. But, you know, one of the things that we're doing is kind of going more towards automotive design look and feel rather than traditional, you know, it looks like the inside of your home. That even goes with these finishes. We could do a wood finish on these cabinets. There's no reason. It's the same type of laminate, but we decided to deliberately choose, you know, this is called brushed metal, something that was just unique and a little bit different.
Well, one of the things that I really like is the place you put your dishes.
I mean, yes,
that's fabulous.
This is, I'll tell you a little story about this. So we get a lot of people, they're like, hey, can I get these cabinets right here? Because that's the way, if you look at a normal camper van, it'll be built out. We deliberately didn't do that, and we built this system, and it solves a couple things. The first thing it solves is if you're actually using, imagine you're using the sink, or you're cooking an omelet. If you have a cabinet, it's right here in your face, and so you're going like this. And so that's super annoying. And then the other thing is when you actually put your stuff away at the end of the day, just storing these round, awkward objects in drawers and stuff like that is tough. And so if we can pull those out of here, this is like a, you know, the best of both worlds. They're right here at hand. Every morning I get up and eat a bowl of cereal. That's me. So, but my molds are right here, you know, my cutlery's right here, my paper towels are right here. So, you know, we kind of get a little bit of both. Again, this is coming back from kind of taking a fresh approach to design. and then also using our own experience, because like I said, we're just huge users of these vehicles ourselves.
Well, the other thing I liked is the oven slash microwave slash everything in one kind of a deal.
Yeah, one of the fun things that happened with the MH1 is because we had all these innovations with the bed and the bathroom, we had a little extra room that you wouldn't normally find. So we have this deep kitchen that you're not going to find with a double burner stove and all that. But then also we were able to squeeze in, all the MH1 models have some kind of oven. So this is a, kind of in keeping with a high-tech all-electric theme. It's a convection oven, regular oven, microwave oven, toaster oven, air fryer. I think it has all those things, and it has a special mode to heat up your pasta. So it's
cool.
Kind of high-tech. And then, going back to the high-tech theme, everything in this vehicle is controlled by circuit boards that we designed in-house. We have made just for us. And then also with an app that we created that connects to the cloud. It connects to all the vehicles. It operates over Bluetooth and the internet. And that's what I actually use to raise and lower this. That's what I use to raise and lower the pop-up top, the awning. It's all connected. The heating, the cooling, it's all, the heated floors, I can turn those on with the app. And it's just an app, so it runs on my phone. We give you an Android tablet, which you can see by over your head there.
Yeah.
But that's just a tablet, so you could actually, mostly I use it on my phone these days.
Well, I liked all this stuff. One of the things that I liked when we came in was the fact that, we can swing all the chairs around and you get the whole gang in it. Why don't you show us a little bit about how the that particular seat over here,
Sure.
That's the one that's usually the trickiest. But you
So
figured it out.
rotating the seat. Yeah, so the whole seating system is modular. All our vehicles have the same pull-tested, safe seating system. And all the seats swivel, slide, and recline. And then you can have up to 7 seats in all of ours. So in this vehicle, we would take this modular cabinet out. There's 4 bolts that attach it to the floor plate system. And then we could put 2 more seats here, 1 here. Same thing with the tables. So these are actually again, coming back to we're the biggest users of the vans, we discovered that having these big pedestals on the floor, they always break, they're at your knees. What if we could cantilever off the sides of the structural, in this case, the B pillars and the seat plate? So that gives us a super stable base, but then you can actually change these tables out. We can put another one here, we could take it out completely. And then, like you said, these front 2 seats to make this 4-place set, we've rotated them. But yeah, so to rotate them, back in the other thing, the main thing is just get the seat in the right position for the rotation. And then there's levers here that allow it to lock. And then boom, you're driving. So
Easy peasy.
yeah. I mean, I've done it many times, so I have a little bit of practice. But yeah, our users, after a couple times of rotating, they figure it out.
So the one thing that you pointed at, but I don't think we got, was this.
Yeah. So this
little column here is what's holding.
That's correct. Yep.
That
and the column can be
table.
taken out. We kind of leave it here for show, so they understand. Like, that.
I think it's. I think it's a great thing as a handrail when it.
There you go.
Elderly. I'm probably older than she is, but anyway, when she was trying to get out, I noticed she was looking for things to grab onto.
Yeah.
That could also be some kind of a handrail if you wanted to.
Yeah, and I would definitely say, so this model actually has larger tires and a lift kit, so it has a lot of lift on it compared to what we could do with a stacked chassis. So that's going to depend too. If you were not looking so much for the off-road capabilities, and we have one over here that has stock tires. You could get something that's a little lower and it wouldn't be quite the step up. Definitely, some different handrails and stuff like that. We do usually buy them with these nice grab handles, but this stuff's plenty strong, so you could definitely put a giant handle there if you wanted to.
Well, I think it's I think it's really well done.
Yeah,
you've won awards as well, I heard.
So we won an RV industry award in 2019. We were up against the big boys that have billions of dollars, and the reason we were able to win is because they picked an impartial panel of judges. They went out and picked just people off the street that they thought would represent the future consumers of the RV industry, and those people selected us in the van life category over all the models that were out there. And I think at that time we were known mostly for our design innovations with the pop-up top, soft-sided storage, and now we're getting to be known for our tech innovations with the giant batteries and stuff like that.
So let me ask the big burning question that everybody is going to want to know. So if I wanted to buy this, what would the price be approximately?
So this van, as it sits right now, is probably about $200,000. Yeah, right around
Yeah.
200, 210, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And that's with all the off-road accessories, upgrades, the giant battery. This one does have the big battery. One good thing, and this is something, one of the reasons that I worked on certification is this does qualify as an RV. So you
Yeah.
can get out to 20-year loan, and you can, and you can write
Right.
off the interest on that loan as a second
Yeah.
mortgage.
Yeah.
So, if you
That's
don't
and
already own
that's
two
and
homes
that's good
stuff.
things to
So
know.
it helps with the affordability. Another thing that people don't realize is actually insuring an RV is quite affordable. The RV companies, the RV insurance companies, are kind of geared towards like people aren't driving them as much, and they also have to make sure that the affordability equation works. So
Yeah.
if you were to buy this as, let's say, a cargo van that's insured as a commercial vehicle or even a passenger van, it's actually going to cost you quite a bit more. Whereas if you get the RV insurance, it's going to make a big deal. So like we're sitting in here in a land full of $100,000 vehicles,
Yeah.
right? And these things have very high insurance premiums, but this is actually kind of more everyman's insurance premium. So there are some things that we do to try to help. And you can buy, so the base model of this vehicle starts at $130,000, yeah, which is super competitive. Like we have some charts that we usually put up, and we'll compare ourselves to the big guys. And basically what happens is, it might cost similar amount to one of those larger ones, but everything's better. Bigger beds, more comfortable beds, bigger bigger batteries, everything's better. So that's kind of what we strive to do. Is we're not necessarily trying to be a low cost leader, but we are trying to be, when you buy a ModVans, you're kind of getting the best of everything, but at a price that's not quite Ferrari level.
Well, to me, it looks pretty damn good. I think you've done a fabulous job.
Thank you.
So, anyways, thank you so much for the
thanks
tour.
for stopping
really
by.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so, anyways, thanks very much, everybody, for watching, and we'll bring you some more from lovely California here. Fabulous, fabulous
breezy
day
California.
today. Breezy for sure. My hat's blown off about 4 times already.
Yeah, it is very breezy
So, my wife made me wear it so I don't get a sunburn.
Yeah.
So, anyways, stay tuned. More to come. Bye bye.